Academy Award nominee Jennifer Tilly has appeared in notable films including Woody Allen's Bullets Over Broadway, Liar, Liar, and the contemporary classic Bound. She also stars in the soon-to-be-released Bride of Chucky, the fourth installment of the Child's Play series. It's a pleasure to welcome Jennifer back to CBS, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, since you were here...
The only reason I do movies is so I can come back and have a legitimate excuse to see you, Tom.
Well, you're very, very kind, Jennifer. It's always nice to be seen by you.
The minute I heard I was going on a big promotional tour, I said, does this mean I get to do Tom Snyder? And Carol said, yes.
Yes, and you also get to appear on his show, which is just a little cocktail humor. Yeah. Now, since you were here the last time,
Yes.
I read this afternoon that you've been to Australia, the land
Right.
down
Well,
there.
I didn't actually go to Australia. I was on my way to Bali. I was doing a little thing for Entertainment Television,
Yeah.
which was just an excuse to go to Bali and have somebody else pay for it.
Yeah.
And then on my way back, in Bali, everything is unbelievably cheap. And so we bought all this stuff. We didn't even want it. It was just too cheap to leave behind.
Right.
So we bought like all these wooden masks and puppets and sarongs and everything. And on the way back, we had this unexpected stop in this town called Dawson, Australia.
Who is we?
Me, Brett, my makeup artist, that was just powdering my nose before we started, and the Entertainment Television
I see.
people.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just me.
You didn't have the boyfriend?
It was me and a bunch of guys. My boyfriend couldn't come.
Okay.
Yeah, but because it was, you know, we had too many other people
I
who needed
understand.
to come along, and so it was a very good trip. It's always best not to travel with someone you love.
This is true.
Right, you
This
get
is
to
true.
know them too well.
So
See,
did
my boyfriend and I, we sit at home and he watches TV and I'm in the kitchen reading my papers and we don't exchange too many sentences and we get
really?
along fine. I'm hoping to eke this relationship out into the new millennium.
Very good.
And I do that by not going anywhere with him and not traveling with him either.
Okay. So everything
Yes.
everything went smoothly on the trip.
Okay, everything on the trip went smoothly, and on our way back we went through Dawson, Australia, and it was 2 in the morning, so of course we were very tired. And you know, you fill out those little, the little things, and it says, you know, are you carrying drugs, currency
Right,
over $20
right.
million, you know, really easy ones. Are you carrying plants, clippings, animals, you know, and so you just go, no, 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 you don't really read them too carefully. And so anyhow, we started to go through the line, nothing to declare, and the producer, Mark, comes back and he says, we have to go through the declare line. And we were just passing through. And I said, why? And he said, well, wood. We have all this wood in Rattown, which is wood products. And they snuck it in there where it says animal clippings, plant clippings, you know, all that. It also said wood and wood products, wood-related products. So we all pushed our carts into this line that was really, really, really long. And we were at the end of the line. I was the last one through. And as I started to go up towards the little thing where the guy is behind, you know, the guy, I think the technical term for him is customs agent.
That would be right.
Yes. He made this little sort of hungry leap. As he saw me pushing up towards him, he made this leap like this, like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I had this instant feeling like I should run out of that line and go into another line, but I thought that would instantly make me look guilty, and I knew I wasn't guilty,
right.
so I approached and I said,
So he went,
yeah, he did like that. Yes, but if he did it like that, then I would have been intrigued, not
Thank you very
horrified. That was a very sexy move, Tom.
Thank you.
So, so anyway,
would you like to see it again? No, no.
no, but I think America would.
No, it's okay.
Can we get a close-up on it?
Okay. So anyway, you stay in the line now.
Okay. So anyway, I pulled up and I said, I have wood items to declare. And he snatched away my paper and he looked at it and he said, oh, right here you said you don't have any wood items to declare. And I said, yeah, I know, but I'm telling you now. And he said, you know it's a federal offense to make a false declaration? And I said, well, I didn't make a false declaration because I just said I had wood items to declare. And he goes, you traveled 17 hours just to spend 4 days in Bali. Don't you think that's a long way to travel for such a short time? And I went, yeah.
This guy really was hostile, wasn't he?
He was a Dudley Do-Right. I think it was his first day on the job.
Yeah, Dudley Do-Right. Yep,
Dudley Do-Right type.
Exactly
so
right.
Anyway, he opens up my suitcases and he's pulling everything out. And
You gotta be kidding me.
No, he goes, what else do you have in there that you just happened to forget to declare? And so he was like tearing it, and you know, I've got like my grungy underwear and everything. It was
Sure.
very humiliating, and so I was being very quiet, and then he got quite chatty, like sort of kind of flirty, like, hey, what do you do? And I was trying not to cry.
This guy's coming on to you.
I don't know.
This guy's coming on to you. Yeah, trust me.
I think he was a control freak. He was very asexual, but he was getting very chatty, and then because I wasn't like, oh, yes, I didn't say anything. I just was trying not to cry. Meanwhile, my friends snuck back behind the barriers, and they were standing there. And he was getting madder and madder because he couldn't find anything. Number one, he was very annoyed that I had all these wooden toys and everything. And he
Did you finally get through customs?
No. Wait. I have to go to the middle of the story before I get to the end.
We're not even to the middle yet.
So anyway, okay, so then all of a sudden he goes, aha! And he pounces and he pulls out something, and what is it? It's beef jerky. And he goes, where did you get this beef jerky? And I said, well, I got it because I'm always hungry, so I always travel with my food. I was under the impression that maybe there was nothing good to eat in Bali, but there was lots of good things to eat, so I hadn't eaten the beef jerky. And I said, well, I got it in Australia, I think, because I was pretty sure I had. Yeah. And he looks at it and he got all disappointed because I got it in Australia. And so he's searching more and more, and all of a sudden he grabs a bag of popcorn and he goes, what is this? And I went, it's a bag of popcorn. And he goes, where did you get this bag of popcorn? And I went, the last answer
You should have reported this guy to his superiors.
Everybody was so embarrassed by him, I could tell.
I would think.
I could tell they were like, she's so cute and he's so hostile. So he goes, where did you get this bag of popcorn? And I thought, well, that was a good answer before I said Australia. So I said, Australia, I think. And he goes, I'm going to ask you one more time, and I want the truth this time.
Now listen, let me know when we get to the halfway point.
Okay. I think we passed the halfway. We're heading towards shore.
Goody.
Okay, I'll tell you when you can laugh, though.
Oh, okay.
Right. So then he goes, because it's a horrifying story, but there's a little humor inherent in the telling of it, I'm hoping.
Oh, there is, yeah.
For all those sleep-deprived people that are watching your show at this time of night.
Right, exactly.
I'm hoping, though. So he goes, I want you to tell the truth this time. Where did you get this bag of popcorn? And I said, I guessed, because I was like, my mind wasn't functioning at that point. I said, Los Angeles? And he goes, exactly. And at this point, my producer, Mark, spoke up. He goes, excuse me, you're going to make this girl miss her plane over a bag of popcorn? And he goes, it's not just the bag of popcorn. He goes, she's gone too far this time. Your friend may be spending the night in jail. I wasn't laughing. I was like, and he goes, I'm afraid it's out of my hands. It's in the hands of the authorities now. And just then somebody came running over, and I think he was so embarrassed at his colleague. And he went, the popcorn, it's in a bag. She hasn't opened it. I think we can let it pass this time. And he threw everything back in the suitcase and zipped it up. And then he goes, but if your friend passes through Australia again, that she should be very careful how she fills out her custom form. And my friend Mark goes, I didn't say anything because I was this far away from spending the night in shackles and manacles left over from, when they shipped all those people over there in the first place. And my friend goes, I don't think Jennifer's ever coming to Australia again. And that's what I wanted to say, and I was very proud of him for being so snotty, and then we ran off and caught our plane. And then the sort of epilogue of the story
would have to come after the commercial.
No, it's very short.
Oh, well, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Look, I'm running your show. It's a month later, they called and they called and they asked me if I would go to Australia to promote another movie of mine, and I said no.
Not in a pig's eye.
That's right. And so I hope they're all suffering from the absence of my presence, because I hope that they're suffering
in
now.
the absence of your presence.
Does your show run in Australia?
No, it doesn't.
Oh,
no, not at all.
There you go.
No, we
good. They don't deserve your show, Tom Snyder.
Thank you very kindly, Jennifer Tilly. Back with Miss Jennifer, you on the toll-free. We'll talk about The Bride of Chucky and other stuff on the other side of this short break. Jennifer Tilly on the toll-free. Here's Rich in Chicago. Hi, Rich, and welcome to CBS Late Night. Hello.
Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm fine, Rich. I hope you are. And, Rich, I'm sorry about the Cubs tonight. What a heartbreaker.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
well,
geez.
We're still cheering them on for Saturday.
There you go. Okay, what's on your mind tonight, Rich?
Anyway, I was going to ask Jennifer, I was curious if she was as outgoing as she is now when she was a child.
Drugs. No. Actually, when I was a child, I was very, very shy. I was really, when I was around my parents, I was a smartass. And of course, when I see those kind of kids, I hate those kind of kids because they remind me of me. Like, I was always trying to make them laugh. Like, we lived way out in the country, and our parents were hippies, and they had hippies all, running through the house and everything. Yeah. So when I went to school, of course, I was very unpopular. And it was sort of odd because I was very outgoing in our neighborhood and in my house.
And when you say that your parents live out in the country,
we live 7 miles out in the country, like way out there. So lucky I had a big family. We had 9 kids in our family. So
out in the country from?
We lived in these really small towns that were unincorporated, which you have to be really small to be unincorporated. And then we lived 7 miles away from everybody else.
Okay, and were they in one of the 50 states?
We lived in Canada for
Okay.
most of the time. I grew up in Canada,
okay,
and
okay.
then in my earlier years, we lived in very small burgs in the United States. But so I think the thing is,
Would we know the names of any of the states if you were to say what they
well,
were?
California.
Sorry.
It's one of the more obscure, smaller.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. But when I went to school, I was really, really shy. Like at home, I would always hit home runs. I'm sure it's psychological. And then when I went to school, then I would strike out. And I was very quiet at school because I was so odd and poorly dressed, and had my mom cut my hair with, clippers that she bought from Montgomery Ward mail order catalog. And so I felt very keenly the isolation of being different. Let us all share a cheer.
I
for
guess
each
the
other.
answer, Rich, is that as a child, no, she was not as outgoing and vivacious as she is now.
No.
Well, it certainly came out now, and it's great. She's just a fantastic talent.
Thank you. I like you better. Last time I was on your show, remember that guy who called and every question sounded like he was putting me down?
Yeah, I remember that very well, and I didn't like him for doing that. by the
Yeah,
way.
and you were really nice because he was talking, he kept talking, and Tom said right when he was talking, he goes, "Thank you for calling, good night." And then he was like, can you believe that guy? And I was like,
Anyway, Rich, we'll keep our fingers crossed for Saturday, pal.
thank
Also,
you,
Tom,
Rich.
I've got a question for you.
Sure, go ahead, sir.
Would you ever consider having Walter and Charlie back on? I had the privilege of standing in for Walter on Dennis the Menace and Grumpy Old Men and Grumpier Old Men, and I just thought Walter and Charlie are a fantastic team. I know Charlie's directing, and I just wondered if you'd like to have them on before you end your show.
I would be delighted to have Walter and his son on this program. It would be a sheer joy. And I tell the story only because it was a funny moment in my life, and it caused some tension. But believe me, there is no ill feeling on my part towards the tremendously talented Walter Matthau.
It was a great story, and Walter's full of them, so I'm sure when if he come on again, he'd give you a lot of great ones.
We'll try and get it done, Rich, and thanks
Real
for
good.
calling.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, good night, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Now, these Chucky movies,
Right.
these are scary pictures. These are horror stories, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I haven't actually seen any Chucky movies. I don't want to
Really?
be kind of horrified before my time.
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen mine. I think they're holding off showing it to me until I finish doing all my publicity. But actually, I hear it's really great. I mean, it's testing through the roof, and I saw obviously some of it when I was looping. But it's really funny when you're doing a horror film because you have to do all these things like get electrocuted in a bathtub and things like that you can't approach them the same way you would do a normal sort of kitchen sink drama. You have to play it a little bit tongue-in-cheek, so you have to figure out funny ways to get electrocuted. And the doll is really weird because
The what? The doll.
hey, that's a job for me. What?
The doll. You said
the doll, the Chucky doll is really bizarre.
Oh, right.
See, I played it. Let me sum it up for you in a nutshell, because I doubt that you're going to go to the theater and rush out and catch this one. So let me just give you
Why would you presume that? I
don't know. I know you're a very busy man.
When does the picture open, Jennifer Tilly?
It opens October 16th, but if you want to go to the premiere, it's October 15th, and I'm sure I could pull some strings and get you a ticket.
I'll just bet you could.
I arrive in a hearse. Instead of red carpet, we're going to have a blood-splattered white carpet. That's worth getting out of the studio for.
So the summary of the picture, the story in a nutshell.
The story is, I played
in a nutshell.
In a nutshell. I played this white trash trailer park girl who was in love with Chucky before he became a doll. Are you following me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. And so anyway, she's trying to resurrect Chucky so she can get his spirit into the handsome young guy next door, but something goes terribly wrong, and instead she turns into a doll. Easiest job I ever had. 2 weeks in Toronto, get electrocuted in a bathtub, and then voiceover for 2 days.
No, and did they? I know they have a Chucky doll.
They have a Tiffany doll.
You're Tiffany, right?
Yes, I play Tiffany, which is the doll. So my character is called Bride of Chucky, and at one time they were thinking to say Jennifer Tilly is Bride of Chucky, which I didn't think I would ever recover from that. I was like, my name can be below the title. Because I'm sort of.
So is there a doll that looks like you?
Yes, there is. And actually, when I saw the movie, I was a little bit disappointed because the Chucky doll is really expressive, and he blinks and he sneers and he's got 17 muscles in his face. And the Tiffany doll, she's very stiff. She's not as good of an actor as Chucky. And I actually said to the creator when I saw him the other day, I said, "How come Tiffany isn't as expressive as Chucky?" And he said, "Well, we had a lot longer time to work with the Chucky doll because she'll be doing stuff where she's yelling at Chucky, but she smiles." dolls.
But are the Tiffany dolls available in the stores now?
Yes, you can buy them in the store, and go out and buy your Tiffany doll because I have a very large percentage of merchandise.
You know, I would pass.
Their breasts are very lifelike. If you squeeze them, they feel like real fake breasts. I know I did.
Do I have to wait for the doll? No, it's a joke. Just a little,
Hello.
just a little humor.
I was going to say something, but I won't.
No, don't.
Wait till after.
Now, let me ask you here. You know, I probably will be working the night of the premiere,
Yes,
so
I'm sure you will.
I would pass on the ticket to the premiere.
Okay.
But if
you want a Tiffany doll.
if you could pull a string and have a doll sent over here,
Okay, but will you show it on camera?
will I ever?
Okay, I will. I'll send the doll over there. You can say my thoughts and hopes are with Jennifer Tilly at this night, this very time she's at the premiere. Hold up the doll.
And then examine the lifelike appendages.
Yeah, but you won't get the you won't get the $2,000 Tiffany doll that I get. You'll probably get like the $15 doll that they sell at like all the toy stores. Because
That would be very nice.
Okay.
And I would be happy to send you something in return for that.
okay,
Yeah.
like a Tom Snyder T-shirt. There aren't any, are there?
Yeah, there are.
My publicist was positive you used to have baskets and you don't have them anymore. I don't remember ever getting anything from you. You never had baskets for guests, did you?
No.
My publicist remembers wrong.
We send a very nice full-color videotape and an autographed picture.
And I love that.
Thank you. I know. That's break time. Jennifer Tilly for a couple of seconds more, and then Kelly Lang from KNBC here in Los Angeles with a brand new novel, and of course the magic of you on the toll-free. Now, this break. With Jennifer Tilly, here's Scott on the toll-free in Welland, Ontario. Hi, Scott. You're on the air. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Scotter.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hey, Scott.
How's your love life these days?
Oh, actually, it's really good. I've had this on-again, off-again relationship with I call him my alleged boyfriend, Peter, because he doesn't go anywhere with me. So when he finally goes out, I say, this is my alleged boyfriend, Peter. But
I'll bet that boosts his self-esteem, doesn't it? Huh?
and then he doesn't go out with me the next time. I don't understand it. But he's English, he's a graphic artist, and I've dated him on again, off again for the last 5 years. Now I've got.
And is he older or younger than you?
Oh, he's younger than me,
Oh,
which
really?
is, and it's not like as a rule I don't go for younger guys because
Right.
I don't want to be like a cliche. I don't want to be Sunset Boulevard. But he's not that much younger. He's like 6 years younger than me.
Oh.
Yeah, but that can kind of make a difference.
And how is it with you being in the public eye, as
Right.
it were? Like when he goes to your movies and sees you in love scenes, is he upset by that or
No,
jealous?
he actually likes it. He's very intrigued. And I think the thing is when he sees me up on screen and I look desirable, then he's like, the old lady isn't so bad looking after all. Because he sees me schlepping around the house in my pajamas, like in the middle of the day, and my hair sticking up like something about Mary. Well, not exactly like something about Mary. But he's not, when he sees me glammed up, he gets all interested.
Lady, you are a party, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I forgot the question you asked, Scott, but the love life is fine.
Yes, but thank you for asking, because I've gone on talk shows like you, sometimes like during lulls in my love life, like
Now, did he see Bound and the?
Yeah, he always goes, why don't you invite your friend Gina over to that? He's not afraid to go there, really. I'm like, Peter, you're so funny. He goes, no, really.
What, you got a problem with that? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Scott. Thanks again for watching, my friend. Hope to talk to you soon.
Okay, good night, guys.
All right. Good night, Scott.
Scott's
Bye.
not a Canadian.
He's from Welland, Ontario. That would
Look
be
at that, a fellow Canadian.
That would be Canadian.
Scott's gone, but I know he's still watching.
You made this picture with Woody Allen, Bullets Over Broadway,
Right.
for which you received the Academy Award nomination.
Right.
I read about Woody Allen that sometimes he will replace an actor after the actor has finished the part.
Right.
And then that actor will come to see the movie and he or she is not in the picture.
Well, you just told my story. Yeah, actually, that's what I heard, and I was petrified when I did the movie that I was going to be replaced. So, I was very, very polite to Mr. Allen the whole time. The thing with Woody, it's really difficult because you don't know when he's happy or not. Like his face is very implacable, sort of like yours. So, he'll never say if you're doing good or bad or anything like that. He'll go, let's do it again. And actually, an actor was replaced on the movie, and the last thing apparently that he heard was, I think we got it. And the next day they brought in like another actor.
Yeah.
And so, of course, that was my fear. It's very difficult to, because he works outside of the studio system. In a regular movie, it's a big deal to replace somebody because
Right.
Woody works outside of the studio system. He can just do whatever he feels like.
But I also read in the same piece about
right.
Mr. Allen that he really does not want to hurt an actor's feelings and often will
Well,
try and have somebody
yeah,
else
it
give an
was-
actor the bad news.
It was, well, no, yes, actually, that's true. And you know, I've heard that his people were always trying to get him to call the actors that were replaced because it was sort of his duty because he's the director. But sometimes he'd just forget. And then the actor would show up at the premiere with his wife and kids in tow. This happened more than once, apparently. And then by the point where he was supposed to appear on screen, it would be some other actor in his costume saying his lines. And that haunted me.
Yeah.
I thought that would be really the actor's worst nightmare, especially if you've got all your family there. Yeah, he would do that, apparently. But he was always very nice to me, but I also had the sneaking suspicion that he didn't know who I was. Because he would never say hello in the morning, and he would never call me by my name. He would say, Olive, I would wonder if you could do such and such and such and that. So I always thought if I ran into him off the set without my hair and makeup and everything, that he would have no idea who I was. And like sometimes I'd come on the set all friendly-like and go, you know, try not to be replaced and go, hello, Woody! And he'd sort of like cringe, like, who let that big loud girl on this? Oh, it's Olive. So he's really quiet. You would think it would be a laugh a minute working with Woody and then he'd be making jokes and everything, but he's just he won't even say action. Like, he has the first AD say action, and then he's sort of like what he said. He never doesn't talk to the actors. If he
In
doesn't
any
have to.
event, we look forward to October the 16th and the opening of The Bride of Chucky
Thank
with
you.
Jennifer Tilly.
More Oscar bait.
And I hope that before we finish up here early next year that you'll come back one more time
I certainly
and
will.
grace our stage. It is always a joy. Thank you, Miss Tilly.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Jennifer Tilly, Bride of Chucky, in theaters October 16th. Next, Kelly Lang from NBC in Los Angeles, and author of a brand new novel, and of course the continuing magic of you on the toll-free after this short time out.